Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajeem. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Today our topic is thirst, which is an adapted extract from the book Road to Mecca, written by Mohammad Asad. Today we will go over part 1A of the series. We ride, two men on two dromedaries. The sun flames over our heads. Everything is shimmer and glimmer and swimming light. Both the words shimmer and glimmer mean shine. Reddish and orange colored dunes, dunes behind dunes, beyond dunes, loneliness and burning silence, and two men on two dromedaries in that swinging gait which makes you sleepy so that you forget the day, the sun, the hot wind, and the long way. The author here is describing his surroundings in the desert. All around him is sand which is shimmering and glimmering in the swimming light of the desert. It is shining. And all around him he can only see dunes, the reddish and orange colored dunes which are bonds of sand. And there is loneliness. And there is burning silence. Now why does he call the silence burning? It is burning silence because of the heat that he's facing in the desert. And the gait, the dress that he's wearing, the long thobe, makes him sleepy. Tufts of yellow grass grow sparsely on the crests of the dunes, and here and there gnarled hemp bushes wind over the sand like giant snakes. Sleepy have become the senses. You are rocking in the saddle. You perceive hardly anything beyond the crunching of the sand under the camel's soles and the rub of the saddle peg against the crook of your knee. Your face is wrapped in your headcloth for protection against sun and wind, and you feel as if you were carrying your own loneliness like a tangible substance across it, right across it to the wells of Tema, to the dark wells of Tema that give water to them that is thirsty. Right across the Nufud of Tema, I hear a voice and do not know whether it is a dream voice or the voice of my companion. So what else does he see around him? He sees bunch of grass which is sparsely growing in small numbers over the crests, that is the top of the hill. And which hill? The sand hill. And they are gnarled, knobbly, rough and twisted hemp bushes that look like giant snakes. And you perceive hardly anything beyond the crunching of the sand, means that you do not know of anything else, because that's the only thing that is there in the desert. And it seems as if your loneliness is something material that you can hold and touch, and you're carrying it with you. Companion is someone with whom you spend a lot of time, or is a travel partner. So Muhammad Asad was not alone. He had a travel partner, and his name was Zad. Didst thou say something, Zad? I was saying, replies my companion, that not many people would venture right across the Nufud just to see the wells of Tema. Now these two travelers were going to Tema to see the wells. Venture, didst thou say something, is Old English, which means did you say something? And venture is a risky journey. Zed and I are returning from Qasr al-Taymin on the Najd Iraq frontier, where I went at the request of King Ibn Saud. Having accomplished my mission and with plenty of leisure time at my disposal, I decided to visit the remote ancient oasis of Tema, nearly 200 miles to the southwest, the Tema of the Old Testament, of which Isaiah said, the inhabitants of the land of Tema brought water to him that was thirsty. So this is a quote from the Old Testament. The abundance of Tema's water its huge wells, which have no like in all Arabia, made it in prehistoric days a great center of caravan trade and a seat of early Arabian culture. I have long wanted to see it, and so, disregarding the circuitous caravan routes, we struck from Qasr Taimin right into the heart of the great Nufud, the reddish sand desert that stretches itself so mightily between the highlands of Central Arabia and the Syrian desert. There is no track and no path in this part of the tremendous wasteland. Of course, in the desert, there are no roads and there are no routes that you can follow, and there are no landmarks. And the path that you take seems to be circuitous, that is meandering. There is no track and no path in this part of the tremendous wasteland. The wind sees to it that no footstep of man or animal leaves a lasting trace in the soft, yielding sand, and that no landmark stands out for long to guide the wayfarer's eye. Under the strokes of the wind, the dunes incessantly change their outlines, flowing in a slow, imperceptible movement from form to form, hills ebbing into valleys and valleys growing into new hills, dotted with dry, lifeless grass and grass that faintly rustles in the wind and is bitter as ashes, even to a camel's mouth. What are wayfarers? Wayfarers are a person who travels on foot. Incessantly means constantly. Imperceptible means so slight that it cannot be perceived. Ebbing means gradually decrease. Faintly rustles means makes a soft sound. So the path that they have taken is circuitous, that is meandering. And in this Nufud or the desert, there are no paths that they can follow. And there are no footsteps also. So no man or animal footsteps are there in the desert. They are all blown away by the wind in the desert. And the scene or the landscape is constantly changing. New dunes appear and old dunes become valleys. Although I have crossed this desert many times in many directions, I would not trust myself to find my way through it unaided, and therefore I am glad to have Zad with me. This country here is his homeland. He belongs to the tribe of Shamar, who live on the southern and eastern fringes of the great Nufud. And when the heavy winter rains suddenly transform the sand dunes into lush meadows, grass graze their camels in its midst for a few months of the year. The moods of the desert are in Zad's blood, and his heart beats with them. So this is who Zad is. He belongs to Saudi Arabia, and he belongs to the tribe of Shamar, and he lives towards the southern and eastern edges of this desert. And when heavy rains come in the winter, this area becomes grassy and becomes a lush green meadow. And then he grazes his camels over here, and the whole of his family does that. Look there! Zad's voice breaks through the silence. A hare! I turn my eyes to the bundle of grey fur that has leaped out of a clump of bushes, while Zad slides down from his saddle, unslinging the wooden mace that hangs on the pommel. He bounds after the hare and swings the mace over his head for the throw. But just as he is about to hurl it, he catches his foot in a hummed root, falls flat on his face, and the hare disappears from sight. There goes a good supper, I laugh as he picks himself up, ruefully eyeing the mace in his hand. But mind it not, Zad, that here was obviously not our portion. No, it was not, he replies, somewhat absent-mindedly, and then I see that he is limping painfully. So what was Zad trying to do? He was trying to catch the hair that has leaped out of the small group of plants. So he came out of the bushes. It came out of the bushes, and Zad was trying to catch him with the help of his mace. But then his foot got caught in the hummed root, and he fell flat on the floor. And this is the picture of a mace. And this is the pommel. This hook on the saddle is the pommel. Didst thou hurt thyself? This is an old English sentence which means, did you hurt yourself? Oh, it is nothing. I only twisted my ankle. It will get better in a little while. But it does not get better. After another hour in the saddle, I can see beads of perspiration on Zad's face. And when I take a look at his foot, I find that the ankle has been badly sprained and it's angrily swollen. There is no use going on like this, Zad. Let us make camp here. A night's rest will restore thee. You can have a look at the meanings of some of the words. Hurl means to throw. Ruefully means expressing regret in a humorous way. Obviously means clearly. Sprained means twisted. And restore means to refresh or to bring back it to its original form. That's all for today. We will start Thirst Part 1B in our next video. Allah Hafiz. See you next time.